Hello, my name's Andrew, and this is the story of the simple home remedies that cured my allergies. Permanently. When I was a kid, I never had any problems with allergies, which is saying something because I grew up in an old farmhouse with pets and dust and mold and spent most of my time outside. But in 5th grade, I moved to a new town and a new school, and shortly after that, I started sneezing, which was no big deal at first until my nose got runny, my eyes got itchy, my lungs got raspy, and I couldn't go anywhere or do anything without a pack of Kleenex in my pocket. It was like I had morphed into a superhero, except my only power was being allergic to literally everything. Once it became clear that I could no longer function with my body freaking out 24/7, my mom took me to the family doctor who explained how allergies were caused by the immune system overreacting to things that were normally harmless, like pollen, dust, and pet fur. Basically, he said there was no cure, but I could manage my symptoms with lifestyle changes and medications and/or taking weekly allergy shots, to which I was like, oh hell no. So I went home with a list of natural remedies and started experimenting. The first step was to get allergens out of the house, so my mom and I tore up some old rugs, installed an air filter, put a dehumidifier in the basement, closed all the windows, vacuumed, dusted, bought hypoallergenic sheets, and gave our dog Heidi a very long bath. After that, I started showering and washing my face twice a day, and even tried a neti pot, which was invigorating. But aside from some mild relief, my symptoms weren't really getting better, and eventually I reached the conclusion that maybe allergies just weren't something you could solve naturally. When I went to the doctor for the second time, he prescribed an antihistamine called Claritin, which made me feel a lot better. But after a few months, it stopped working, so I switched to Allegra, then Benadryl, and finally Zyrtec, which achieved the desired result, albeit by turning me into a walking Sahara Desert and making me so drowsy I would fall asleep in class. Over the next 10 years, I kept trying different treatments for my allergies, but the side effects always seemed worse than the symptoms they were supposed to treat. Nasal sprays gave me nosebleeds, nasal strips gave me acne, inhalers gave me headaches, and by the time I turned 29, it was starting to feel like maybe allergies were just a case of lousy genetics and nothing I did was ever gonna make them better. In the summer of 2020, I read this book called How Not to Die by Michael Greger, which talked about all the healing properties of a plant-based diet. So I spontaneously decided to go vegan, and it was crazy. Within a month, I was feeling good enough to stop using my allergy meds, nasal spray, and inhaler. By the end of the summer, my allergies were gone, and I don't mean managed or reduced or relieved, I mean gone, as in like poof, vanished into thin air. The only problem was I missed eating meat, and anyways, I was kind of confused about how changing my diet had even cured me to begin with. I mean, what the heck did my stomach have to do with sneezing, itching, and wheezing? Last year I was researching nutrition and I came across this article that explained how 70 to 80% of our immune system is actually in the gut, and I was like, oh, this is why I've been so stuck for the past 10 years. 99% of allergy treatments are only focused on 20% of the problem. So I made a list of foods that are known to cause inflammation and started adding and removing them from my diet one by one. After a year and a half, I ended up narrowing the list down to 7 remedies that work so well that I can literally turn my allergies on and off by following or not following them. Number 1, whole. Processed foods often contain toxins and allergens, so 90% of my diet is whole foods from the produce section and a small amount of organic free-range meat. Number 2, raw. Cooking destroys enzymes and probiotics, so I eat lots of raw fruits, veggies, greens, and fermented foods. Number 3, sugar. Sweeteners are like pouring gasoline on a fire, so I avoid processed sugar and mostly eat fruit with a small amount of honey. Number 4, dairy. Milk, cheese, and butter cause congestion, so I use alternatives like coconut, avocado, and flax. Number 5, gluten. Modern wheat literally glues up the digestive system, so I use einkorn flour, which is unhybridized and has much less gluten. Number 6, caffeine. Coffee, chocolate, and caffeinated tea stress out the immune system, so I energize with herbs and mushrooms. Number 7, stress. Overworking and overcommitting put the body into panic mode, so I keep my life minimal, get lots of rest, and spend as much time out in nature as possible. Having lived without allergies for a couple years now, it's weird to see people sneezing, itching, and wheezing because, at least for me, allergies are optional, which is why I wanted to make this video. Obviously, some foods that cause problems for me might be perfectly fine for you, but overall, understanding how much gut health impacts the immune system helped me get off of medications and take back control of my life, to the point where I'm perfectly happy pet sitting for a friend or sitting in a field full of pollen. So I hope it helps you too. P.S. If you want to dive deeper, I've put a link down below to a step-by-step checklist for everything that we covered in this video, plus more simple home remedies for allergies you could try. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.